Hello, folks. I'm going to talk just a few minutes about the Ebola situation and Twitter. Twitter, I think, is the best tool we have now for really up-to-date worldwide news events. I might do a separate video about that. But to get into the Ebola, the question I had on a previous video, why the second strain appeared. I know there's more than 2 strains since 1976. The situation in Congo was a totally separate incident. People also apparently, as they did in the first outbreak, the end of last year, near the 3 countries I mentioned, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia, and this is Congo. And the 5th country is Nigeria, but there's other nationals and other countries involved now. But this Congo was a separate case of infection from bushmeat, they call it. I think this is important because it raises some questions. Now, I did tweet Dr. Nyman, he's busy, and of course few people respond anyway. Most people, over half the people, don't respond on Twitter. I don't expect them to. I'm not looking to take over his position, and he does DNA analysis. They did an analysis of it on one of his links from his site. Very complicated. The typical DNA list, very long list that they did an analysis. The second strain is also a deadly one. The latest facts I know of, there are 5 strains. One is not a deadly strain. These 2 are. Why this is disquieting and raises questions. Why within less than a year are there 2 widely separate incidents? I don't think this happened before. 76 to now, of course, is 38 years. It's a long time. And when you have 4 or 5 situations, that's a number of years. You can do the math. It's like up to 7 years, depending on how you do it, how you look at it, between incidents. So in less than a year, why are widely separate animals infecting people and causing an outbreak? As I said earlier, it was spreading east, but the people in Nigeria, that was from plane trips, and perhaps the first American who got there, American worker, and unintentionally spread it to people there. But this Congo is totally separate, and we're talking a wide swath now of north central Africa, west to east, central, north central, I'll call it. The WHO is giving out information. Another thing I want to touch on, it really seems to be a lot more communicable than, say, the AIDS. If a person sneezes and you're the reception of the sneeze 10 feet away, the experts have said you're potentially liable to get it. I don't believe this happens with AIDS, and I believe some people are being disingenuous and saying it can't be transmitted easily. This is pretty easy. Some of the evidence you want to look at to support this, why so many healthcare workers, now some of them had to know they were dealing with Ebola and yet became infected. Now, do you think they were not taking precautions? Now, the unfortunate healthcare worker over the years who stuck a needle, you've heard the situation, the standard situation, stuck a needle accidentally, a nurse or what have you, and then came down with AIDS. This is, the numbers are greater than that. These healthcare workers know what they're doing. Some very good people, I hesitate to add, have given their lives in the healthcare industry. I'm not a big fan of doctors. If you people know me, you're aware of that. But some have already given their lives, and this is really one of these black swan events we have developing. And I wanted to limit this to 5 minutes, so I'm going to say good luck, folks.